So, you want to start being able to think in English. There is a famous statement out there that says, a drowning man cannot learn to swim. Today, I want you to take that statement and throw it into the trash because it is useless, and today I'm going to teach you how to swim while drowning. For you to be able to formulate thoughts in English, you will have to follow a simple group of steps that are going to help you do just that. First of all, this is what I call immersion. So, you do know that you have a lot of resources on YouTube, on other areas of the internet that you can take for yourself to be able to use as input. Input is everything you are going to be using to bring English into your mind, into your head. So, what are you going to do? You are going to try the most to bring as much input into your mind as possible. Your goal is to be able to think, to formulate thoughts in English. You are not going to be able to do that if you don't have English words and expressions already inside your head. And if you already have a lot of expressions, a lot of words here in your head, it is going to be much easier for you to be able to connect those words, connect those sentences, and think in English, which is what you want. So, as I was saying, immersion is like teaching you how to do something while doing it. I have been a student of language before, so I know exactly what you're going through. There's a lot of mental fatigue. You find yourself not being able to think in the language for more than 30 seconds, 1 minute a day, and it can be very frustrating not to be able to do that, not to be able to think in the language you want. So, what you want to do here is get yourself acquainted with as much of the language as possible. Never stop watching YouTube videos like this. Thank you for watching in advance. Never stop watching other YouTube content, like other English teachers, like English podcasts, like English stories, which I actually have in the channel. Listen to English as much for as long as you can. Read books. Read books. As many books as you can. If you are a beginner, somebody who is just starting, somebody who's not that good in English, I would encourage you to read English books, storybooks with very simple language. Books that are easy to understand. On the screen right now, there is a name of an English writer who wrote many children's books, and his books have a good vocabulary, they're easy to understand, and they're very fun. So, for you to begin to be able to train your brain to work out words inside, you will have to read some of those books. You will want to read some of those books. Make your English process as fun as possible, You're gonna be wanting to do fun things in English, like watching movies. Do not watch movies that people recommend that you watch, but watch movies that you enjoy. Even if the ones you enjoy are the recommended ones to you, watch the ones you enjoy, because that is going to help you not be tired of watching something. Let's just say you're into basketball. Let's just say a sport. I do not watch sports, but let's just say you're into basketball. So you will be wanting to watch movies, series, and shows on TV or online about basketball in English. Even though you're not going to be able to understand everything there, the fact that you are innately just interested in basketball is going to be a motivator that keeps you there for as long as possible for you to learn. So, remember, watch TV series, watch a lot of movies, immerse yourself with as much content, and surround yourself with as many people who can speak English. Today, we have a lot of resources. We have the internet. You have apps that today can connect you with people from other countries you can try to speak with. There is an app, I'm going to put the name on the screen, that allows you to connect with people from many English-speaking countries. You get acquainted, you can say hello, you can say hi, and maybe start a conversation. But be careful, not everybody in those apps and those social platforms is very nice. But if you do find somebody there who's nice and kind, you can actually have a conversation in English with them. The next step you are going to use is called practice. So, you will want to be able to practice thinking in English and speaking in English for as much and as long as possible. How do you go about doing that? Okay, first of all, if you're a person who is not able to think in English for more than 30 seconds, I would encourage you to not strain yourself too much trying to think in English, because that might be a sign that you just don't have that much vocabulary in your head. You just don't know English as much as it would be useful for you to be able to think. So, absorb a lot of English, absorb a lot of vocabulary, absorb a lot of sentences, and then try to speak. Because not always you're going to be able to think the same way you speak. Because we generally think a little bit faster, a little bit less organized than we speak. So if you can be able to articulate sentences and words, even if it's to yourself on the mirror in your bedroom maybe. Let's just say you decide that every day you're gonna look at yourself in the mirror and just speak English and just talk about your day to yourself, or just invent stories, just have fun speaking English. That is going to train your mind to be able to formulate ideas. Oh yes, yesterday I went to see my friend and we played a game together. So if you're able to say that while speaking, it is going to be much, but much easier for you to be able to think that. And that's how you practice. Practice as well by writing. Write as much as you can. If you like poetry, if you like to read poems, why don't you start writing a little bit of poetry for yourself? And this is a little bit for those English learners who are maybe advanced, I would say, maybe upper intermediate, maybe level 3 and above, I guess. But if you're not at that level, maybe you could try to write little stories. You could try to write at least one paragraph a day about something that makes you happy. For instance, I could say, today, something that makes me happy is to wake up and see the sun shining outside. That is enough, because if you can write it, you probably can say it. And if you can say it, you definitely can think it. Step number 3 is going to be avoid translating things in your mind. This is a trap. Sometimes We do our best when we see expressions and words and sentences in English to just change them for them to be easier for us to understand. Let's just say you get a message from a friend in English, just a very short text. And as you're reading that text, you're like, yeah, I do understand it, but it just doesn't feel comfortable to read this in English. I want to read this in my native language. That's a trap. What you want to do here is to keep on reading even though you don't feel comfortable. Even though you might not be happy at the moment, just do your best to not translate anything. Not translating via Google Translate, not translating in your head. Oh, this means this in my native language. No, stay in that language. When you were a baby, you didn't have any translator, any interpreter in your head for things you just didn't understand. And there was no other way for you to understand unless you just kept on listening and sticking to just immersing yourself in the sentences and the things people were saying around you. You didn't understand what those adults were saying. You didn't know what they were saying, but you had to keep on listening and listening and listening. And one day, you got it. You're like, oh, that's what it means. And sometimes that's what you have to do to be able to think, because you're training your brain to be independent, and be able to survive on its own in this land of the brave English speakers. Want to be one of them? Step number 4 is going to be setting thinking goals. Setting thinking goals. Let's just say you're now able to remember most of what you read. You're now able to understand a little bit of what you watch on TV, on YouTube, or just able to understand English in general. You will want to set thinking goals. You will want to maybe decide, okay, every single day from Monday to Friday, I am going to think in English for at least 10 minutes. Even if it hurts my brain, I am going to stand there in my bedroom looking in the mirror and just think in English straight up. So, when you do that, you will want to make up stories. You will want to think about your day. You will want to maybe imagine that there's somebody else with you and you're having a mental dialogue in English. You will want to say, okay, for today, I am going to set the challenge that I am going to learn 3 or maybe 5 different new words. And in these words, I'm going to have them mean items in the house. Maybe a mug, maybe a bowl, maybe the water tap, maybe a candle, maybe the light bulb. And whenever I go past those items, I am going to indicate, I'm going to point at them, and I'm going to say what they are in English. I walk a little bit around the house. Oh, the water tap. I walk some more. Oh, that's the light bulb. I walk some more, and you just keep on mentioning those items. And if you cannot say those things out loud because people might be thinking, oh, you're strange, you're going to do that mentally, okay? So as you walk, you look at the items, and you think to yourself, oh, the mug, oh, the bowl, oh, the light bulb, oh, the water tap, in English. Just keep doing that every single day. And by the end of the week, you will have, let's just say 25, Monday to Friday, 25 new different words that you're able to say and you're able to think. The last step is the hardest one, which is going to be embrace the suck. I know, embrace the suck. Embracing the suck is just persisting even though you're not seeing a lot or any improvement at all. Because learning a language is a process. A baby doesn't just wake up and after 6 months of hearing people, after 1 year of hearing people every day speaking English every single day, it doesn't just wake up and start speaking English. Oh, I wanna go in the car. It doesn't do that. So it has to be patient. It has to wait for the whole process to unfold and for things to happen slowly. So this is what you are going to have to do. You're gonna have to embrace the suck. You're gonna have to be patient. You're gonna have to persist in speaking, in listening, in watching, and just immersing yourself even though you don't see a lot of improvement. But step by step, if you can learn 5 new different expressions, if you can mention them mentally every single day, Monday to Friday, you are going to have 25 expressions by the end of the week. At the end of the month, that's more. That's what, 100 new expressions you have? That's a lot. And it's enough for you to progress slowly. Just keep going. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope it has been very helpful to you and to your journey. Please leave a like if you liked the video. Please subscribe if you want, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye.